Well, hello guys. It's Esquire Codex, and I'm gonna be swappity doing with you some more as Swapper plays along in the background as you listen to me wax eloquently to your ears. Well, I want to start off, and I want to talk a little bit about author interaction with their readers. And I don't know, this isn't something that I would run across much. I have two instances in the last month or so that make me want to talk about this. But typically, as a reader, I don't think of my author as someone I interact with or idolize too much. With actors, in movies, when you watch a movie, you like interaction with the real actor. Or in YouTube channels, the big YouTube people, you like them as a person, and you want to talk to them as a person. Not so much as an author, I think. Though it does happen. But I think I appreciate when an author does actually interact with fans, and you see them as the person, as the real person. I read The Liberator by Alex Kershaw, and it's about Felix Sparks, who was captain in World War II, and he commanded a division, and it just takes him through his years in World War II and his journey up through Italy all the way to the gates of Dachau, the concentration camp. Which, man, that's a tough few chapters to read when they reach Dachau. Just the sheer transparent brutality that's seen, and the ghost eeriness of it, because you just see after the Germans have fled, because it's near the end of the war, and basically all that's left are these dead bodies of the prisoners and the emancipated bodies of the living ones. But so I read The Liberator and wrote a review on Goodreads, and Alex liked it. Alex Kershaw, the author, he liked it. Which, first I was like, what? Sweet. He saw a special note of my review and loved it. But then I went and looked and to see that he liked every review of his book on his page. So it was nothing super special. But I was still like, well, that's really cool. I mean, even though he likes everyone, it's still that little special interaction. And I really appreciated that. And another thing was, on Facebook, I like Ted Dekker. So I get his updates whenever he updates status and stuff. And recently his new book, Water Walker, which I did read. Maybe I'll talk about that later. He got offered to have a movie made of it. And he had 3 choices. And he presented these in his status update. And he's like, here guys, vote on these 3 choices, which you would rather have. You see, I'm struggling with this puzzle, by the way. I'll get it. Eventually, I'll figure it out. I think I do. And he was like, choice A, I have a big movie production company do it, but I lose much of the creative rights. B, I have a more independent film studio do it, and I retain creative rights. Or C, just forget the whole movie idea. And he was like, so I want to hear your voice. And so a bunch of people commented, and the majority did say B, they want it independent with his creative rights still. And then a week later, he came with another status update. He's like, I've listened to you guys, and so we're going to go with an independent movie studio to create Water Walker. And I just thought that was cool. He actually listened to his fans. He wanted their input, because who will value this movie the most? The fans. And so that's cool, that author interaction. And I don't know, I just don't see much author interaction. It seems the objects that the author produces, the books, they're much more living than the author themselves. If that makes sense. That's kind of how I see it. Like, I don't often think in terms... I think more in terms of the book as a greater living force than the author. And it's kind of neat at times to see that force behind the book as the author, and actually see him as a real person. So I thought that was kind of neat. Though Oh, another thing is, like my sister, when she was younger, she was a big fan of the Mandy books, and she wrote the author a big fan letter saying she loved them, as a little 9-year-old or something. She was like, "Oh, I love your books, Mandy's pigtails are so beautiful," something like that. And the author responded with a letter to her letter, just saying, thank you and stuff like that, and that's cool too. And now my sister, 20 years later, she still remembers that. It's special things like that that really make you prize an author. Like, I want to read another Alex Kershaw book now because he brought notice to my review, even if he does it to every single one. That's the only author I've ever had like one of my reviews on Goodreads, and that makes me appreciate him. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to go out and buy another one of his books and read it. Because first off, I enjoyed the book itself, and if he's going to put effort like that towards me as an individual, I'll put effort towards him and I'll support him. And yeah, just like my sister remembers it 20 years later, it makes an impact. Like I've told a couple of my family, like, about this cool thing, how an author liked my review, even though, as I said, it's not that big because he likes everyone. But still, I'm talking about him. I'm spreading the word of Alex Kershaw, and retroactively, it improves my liking of his book. Just like subconsciously, it just makes me think of the book as better. And so, I think that's a little something that we could see a little more of, authors as people talking to us and showing their love of us, like YouTube personalities. They do interact with their audience on a regular basis, and I think people like that. And so I think authors can do a bit more of that. But until next time, I'll talk about another book. We'll see. Peace out.